released. And also, right now it is the third time of the bird watching season, and it is the best time to watch the birds. Because in these days, we have around like 700,000 migratory birds coming to Poyang Lake to go through the winter. So on December the 8th, and it is the first time we have people coming here to observe the migratory birds. So that said, on the 18th and the 8th and 28th of the month, and we will have specialists coming here to observe the habits and also some of the conditions of the migratory birds. So according to the statistics, right now we have over 700,000 migratory birds in the Poyang Lake. And altogether we have around like 58 types of the migratory birds. And today we will have 19 types and 60 migratory birds to be released here. And all of these birds have been rescued from different places, including places like Beijing, Tianjin, Heilongjiang, Hubei, Jiangxi, and Shenzhen. We have the national first-class protected wildlife, for example, the white crane, the oriental white stork, the black stork, and also we have the second-class protected wildlife in China, for example, the swan, goose, the Hooper swan, etc. So we may be curious of how we get these migratory birds. Right now you could see we are trying to release the white-naped crane. So from the camera you just see that the very first white-naped crane had been released. Now you could see its wings, and the crane is right to the sky. So for this one is coming from Beijing Rescue Center. For these migratory birds during the migration, some of them may get injured or lack of nutrition, and they may fall behind the group. And so for these birds, they will be rescued in different localities. And we are continuing to see that we are releasing all of these rescued migratory birds. And we are trying to release the birds one by one. So in order to give you more knowledge about this event, we have an expert from the Wildlife Center in Jiangxi Province, Mr. Wang. Good morning. So first of all, please give me some introduction about the situation of the migratory birds today. So this time for the release event, we are about to release 60 migratory birds in 19 types. So, and we have 10 national first-class protected wildlife, including the white-naped crane, the oriental white stork, and the black stork. And also we have over 16 national second-class protected wildlife to be released today. And also we have some migratory birds in Jiangxi to be released. So for these migratory birds, this time we are collecting these birds from Beijing, Tianjin, Heilongjiang, Hubei, Guangdong, and the Jiangxi province. So why we choose these birds to be released in the Poyang Lake? So for example, in Heilongjiang, Beijing, and Tianjin, for these migratory birds, they should be coming to Poyang Lake to spend the winter, but during the migration, because of the injury or other factors, these migratory birds fell behind the group. So for example, when they're traveling in Beijing, Tianjin, and Heilongjiang, they may get injured. And for some of the rescue centers, they try to treat and cure some of these injured birds. And after these birds are cured, and these cities have sent these migratory birds back to Poyang Lake. Because of the timing of the migration, we have to make sure that these birds can come to Poyang Lake in due course. So by taking this opportunity when we are having this bird watching season, so right now we are able to release some of these migratory birds to the nature. I just saw for the release of the white crane and also the white stork. So what are some of the treatments or the rescue work done to these birds? So for the waterfowls, so we have the wading birds and also we have some of the water birds. For example, for the storks and the cranes, they are wading birds. So first of all, we have to pay attention to the spot of their injury, whether their wings get hurt or their legs get hurt. First, we have to check their physical condition. And then we will take actions and try to cure all of their wounds. So for the local rescue center, they will spend some time to take care of these birds. So after these migratory birds recovered and up to certain standards, and then we will bring all of these birds back to the Poyang Lake. And we just seen that we have released a number of the white-naped crane. So for the Poyang Lake, it is the #1 freshwater lake in China and also a very large size of the freshwater lake in Asia. It's a perfect place for us to release the crane and storks. So when the cranes and the storks come to the waterside, it is their favorite place, their natural habitat. So now we could see we have just released another oriental white stork. So for Jiangxi, for the Wildlife Rescue Center, they have cured a number of the oriental white stork and also the white-naped crane. Especially early this year, we worked together of Zhejiang province and also we exchanged our experiences on how to cure the white crane. And for a specific one, it actually become an internet craze. Because at the time when we take care of the crane, it's just a baby crane. After a certain time, when it comes to the Poyang Lake, it doesn't fit quite well of the environment. So after a certain time, with our careful assessment, we are able to release that white crane. Just take a look at this one. The oriental white stork is very beautiful. And this time we have 6 oriental white stork. And also this time we are collecting some of the Hooper swan from Beijing. So I can feel that for these birds, when they come to Poyang Lake, it feels like they're coming back home. They're not scared. It feels like it's their natural habitat. As I said, for the Poyang Lake, so each winter these birds will come here and they will consider this place as their homeland in winter. They are quite familiar with this place. And for the rescue migratory birds, they fell behind during the migration. And this time we could see they're coming to Poyang Lake. They're trying their best to catch up with the group. So I would say they are quite familiar with this place. So this time we have the migratory birds from different cities. And I just said that for the bird watching season, we are able to see over 700,000 migratory birds here. So is it a perfect place for them to live through the winter? Yes, correct. So I would say for the Poyang Lake, I just said this is the largest freshwater habitat in Asia. So for the waterfowls, we have over 130 types. And today, we are releasing these migratory birds to the wild, to the nature. So right now, the release event is continuing. So at the beginning, we are releasing some of the first-class protected wildlife, and continue we will release the second-class protected wildlife in China. For example, we have the swan goose, the Hubei swan, and also we have the lesser swan, Beijing goose, etc. So while the Poyang Lake is their home. So for these days, I do a lot of live coverage in the Poyang Lake. I want to ask a question whether you identify more migratory birds in this place. So for example, in the bird watching season, if we find some injured birds, I think it is very necessary for us to take care of them. And right now, people's awareness have been improved. They would like to rescue the birds. And after they recovered, we will release them back to the nature. Well, this is our philosophy. We have to protect the wildlife. So right now, if we are seeing some of the injured wild animals, maybe we have some local people reporting to us. And for some of the birds, they may carry some of the sensors. We will continue to observe their situation during the release. The purpose is that we could better protect this wildlife, to understand their habits, to understand their trajectory of the migration. So we have a basic understanding of the location of these migratory birds. And we will analyze their behavior so that we can do a better job to protect this wildlife. So for the rescue center, it's very important for us to install some of the sensors and the trackers. So I just said that we have a crane called Xiaoxue. So no matter where it is, we are able to track the traces of this crane. In the past, we also installed and put some of the trackers to the cranes and the storks. However, with the pass of the time, sometimes we may lose signal of some of these wild animals. And this time, we installed a well-functioning tracker to Xiaoxue, the white crane, and then we're able to understand the trajectory, the route of the migration of the right crane. And by doing that, we are able to do a good job in protecting all of these migratory birds. So now we are seeing we will continue to release the cranes, the storks, and the gooses. So this time we are releasing a great number of migratory birds. What will be the following work? Well, first of all, we have to pay attention to the biodiversity, especially for those rare birds. We need to understand the overall environment of the wild situation. We have to do our best to protect the species, especially we want to increase the species of these birds. And also, I talk about the conservation. We want to better preserve all of this wildlife. With all of these events, we would like to raise the awareness for our people for the harmony between human and the nature. So right now we could see very successful release today. And we will continue our release event because there are many birds coming to Poyang Lake, especially in winter. So every year at this time, we may see a great number of injured migratory birds. Right now, as for all the people, they have gained a higher awareness of the protection of the wildlife. When they spot or identify some of the injured birds, they will report to us. We will try our best to rescue these birds and to protect the species. Thank you. I believe you are quite busy today. Thank you for your time again. So right now we are seeing most of the wildlife has been released. And also we have a lot of journalists gathered here. They are trying to capture all of the behaviors of these migratory birds. Now I would say this is a oriental white stork, and also I can see another swan goose. Actually, there are a lot of oriental white stork in the Poyang Lake, and they may eat shrimps or fishes. And this area, it is the Great Lake area of the Poyang Lake. In this area, I think this is abundant in food, so it's a perfect place for them to live here. And for the oriental white stork, they have very long beak, and also they are considered a group of the wading birds. So they will come to the water, they will use their beak to capture the fish. And sometimes they may fight for one fish, fight for the food. And so for all of these oriental white stork, their home is here. Maybe at this time, their reunion with their family members. Even though some of them may fall behind during the migration, but right now, they all come back together. So now we are very close to the oriental white stork. Let me adjust the angle. All right, from the camera, just take a closer look to these swan gooses and the oriental stork. So during the release for these 60 migratory birds, and for all of these birds, they may adapt to the environment, especially in the wetland and the freshwater lake. Now we are still seeing some of the storks and also some gooses. They are wandering here. So for the Hooper swan, they may fly up and try to find their group. And also we are seeing some of the lesser swans, they are still staying here. And by the riverside, I can see one specific oriental white stork. So behind the marsh, you could see why one white stork is trying to catch a fish. So for this white stork, it feels like it tries to find a comfort zone. So right now we have just released a number of migratory birds, and now they're adapting to the new environment. So we may give them more time to get used to this place. On the left side of this white stork, let's take a look. So for this oriental white stork, it tries to use its beak to find food. And here we are seeing a number of gooses here. Now for all the 60 migratory birds, these are the few that have still staying in this place. We hope that sooner and they will spend a safe and comfortable winter in Poyang Lake. Because in Poyang Lake, it is abundant in food, so they could stay safe in this place. For the migratory birds, when they are coming here, it will bring a very beautiful, picturesque place for us. If we are finding some of the injured migratory birds, make sure that we report to the rescue center. And make sure you do not wear bright colored shirts when you're observing and appreciating the birds. We will try our best to create a better environment for the birds. So that's the end of today's live coverage. Thank you.